A pair of playoff teams are going at it here today from Boulder Creek High School, the Corona del Sol Aztecs, and the Boulder Creek Jaguars coming up next on Arizona Lacrosse. And we welcome you into beautiful Boulder Creek High School in Anthem, Arizona on a gorgeous day for Arizona High School Lacrosse. It's APN's Encore Gamecast presented by the Arizona Lacrosse League, the Aztecs, and the Jags. Jeff Lowry on the play-by-play. Glad you could join us. 74 degrees our game time temperature. Corona 4-3 by way of record, led by senior face-off specialist Mike Clare. And then on the offense, the sophomore having a big season, Jared Duvall, number 27, and of course one of the top offensive players in Arizona lacrosse history, Garrett Howell, having a big season. In fact, had 11 goals in their last game. As you get a look at Coach Prauza, he is the manager of this Corona del Sol Aztecs. Greg Botto is the head coach. This is an outstanding program as we now look to Boulder Creek. And, of course, Dan Booth, what a great job they've done this year. They come in 6-3, led by their senior goalie, Chris Davis. He's going to have a big game here today going up against Hal and Duvall and some of the others. Cody Essery, a very talented senior midfielder, number 5, leading the charge. And he'll have the ball quite a bit. He's among the leaders in ground balls. And number 1 is Thomas Hess, senior midfielder. Both those players must play huge here if they're going to beat this tough Aztec team. The Aztecs have won 3 straight, mainly because of Jared Howell back in the lineup. And now we are getting set for lacrosse. Reserve your next sporting event today with APM Video Sports. Call 623-936-5585 or go to our website at apmvideo.com. Our athlete recruitment films have paved the way to over $35 million in scholarship offers. Today's game is being brought to you by the Arizona Lacrosse League and our Encore Gamecast. Go to ArizonaLacrosseLeague.com for more. Well, we're getting set for this Boulder Creek Corona matchup. Our next Encore Gamecast will put 2 of the top 5 teams in the state. Sabino, number 3 in the state, out of Tucson. They'll be taking on the Gilbert Tigers. That'll be on ArizonaLacrosseLeague.com and APNvideo.com. I'm Jeff Lowry with APN Sports. Glad you could join us. The 2 goalies here today, you got Alexander Thunberg for the Corona del Sol Aztecs. As we mentioned, Chris Davis is in goal for Boulder Creek. Boulder Creek coming in 6-3, fresh off a 17-1 victory over Northern Arizona. Their big win this year came at the hands of the Chaparral Firebirds at Firebird Stadium, 10-9, all the way back on March 4th. They're currently in 6th place in the Arizona Lacrosse League standings. Corona is in 10th place, but they've won 3 straight, and they are going to be without the services of Jacob Patterson, the sensational sophomore who finished 3rd in goals and assists and total points last year, as Corona wins the opening faceoff, and this contest is underway. Welcome to APN Video Sports and the Arizona Lacrosse League Encore Gamecast. This is one of the great matchups I think we're going to see this season on our Encore Gamecast. We've already had 2 great games this week. Brett Benson with a tremendous play on defense and a nice long clear there, and he'll get it over to Blake Leeper. Leeper's going to be one of the guys that obviously at Boulder Creek, and there's an unforced turnover. An unforced error, and that's going to allow a restart here for Trey Bussler, number 18 in the Corona del Sol Aztecs. No score, first quarter action, but you're going to need some points from Blake Leeper here today. You're going to need Thomas Hess and probably Essery getting into that cage. Here's a shot on goal, and that is the first shot, legitimate shot of the game, and a nice job there corralling it was Chris Davis. 0-0 tie. Corona in the all-orange uniform. They're known for those wild orange uniforms. A football team, you can't miss them. You can see them 10 miles away. And a nice job of sticking with it there at midfield. 34, Rhett Butters. Of course, that name's synonymous with some outstanding football name over there at Corona. Scoreless tie. Boulder Creek, the Jags come in 6-3. They're wearing the all-white uniforms with the red trim. And as I said, Corona is in the all-orange. So Boulder Creek settling into a 6-on-6. Looking for their first shot on goal. And now Hess on the dodge. Breaks right and pulls the trigger and finds the promised land as he nails it on the left side. And well, I'll tell you, that was very creative. He had tough defense, tight defense all over him, but at the 9:57 mark, Thomas Hess has given Boulder Creek an early 1-0 lead. And now our second face-off. It looks like Corona's going to win that. Outstanding ground ball by Patrick. So Surkoof keeping it alive, and Corona has won the first two face-off possessions. And they're led by 21, Garrett Howell, who had I don't know if he broke his hand or he just had the cast on there. Maybe it was apparently it wasn't a break because he came back into action as he pulls the trigger there and missed a little wide left. And then shortly after he messed his hand up, he broke his jaw early in the season and was out. And now Corona trying to equalize, and an outstanding save that time by Chris Davis, the senior captain for Boulder Creek. And a nice no-look pass by Tattlebaum keeps it alive for Cliff Prauza and his Corona del Sol Aztecs. First quarter action, Boulder Creek in the white. They lead it 1-0. Here's a dodge, getting around a high screen. Howell will generally be in that area over there left of the crease. Here's a little give and go. Here's Howell going to work, swimming through his defender, but couldn't get by him. And Brett Benson, good defense, and even though the shot was taken, it was again wide to the left. Corona was backing it up, and they'll have possession, trailing 1-0. And they'll try to bounce shot that one in there. 27, Jared Duvall, the sophomore, who brings 5 years of lacrosse experience to the team this year and wants to go to Providence after his high school years. 21, there he is, Garrett Howell. What a sensational start. Only 4 games, he has 43 points in total. And don't think that he's a shot hog. He has had 20 assists and 23 goals, so he not only can pass it, but he can shoot it, and he's looking for an opening here. He's getting double-teamed on the wing. And now sidesteps the defender, Miller, and trying to pull the trigger. Can he do it? He does not. I think that was a pass. And the score will remain here at 1-0 Boulder Creek. Corona with the possession. Corona likes to attack left of the crease. This is Duvall, who was moving right, spun left, came up with a big right, found the back of the cage, and the Aztecs have tied this thing up at 1 point apiece at 7:45 left to go here in the first period. Our third face-off of this first quarter. A pretty good matchup here on the Arizona Lacrosse League. Corona in their third face-off victory. So they are owning the possessions off the face-off. And I guess technically because it was a face-off possession the last time they had it and scored. And so now they are in possession here. So a big goal by Jared Duvall, as the shot taken that time by Garrett Howell is no good, wide to the left. Corona, who has done a good job of controlling the time of possession early on in this game. They've had it certainly in the defensive half of Boulder Creek a lot more than Boulder Creek has had it in the other end. But Jared Duvall, the sophomore sensation, coming up with a game-tying goal, and we are tied at 1 apiece. Corona looking for more, and they missed the shot this time. And they have taken a multitude of shots, unofficially 7-1 on shots on goal. Corona over Boulder Creek, and Boulder Creek can ill afford to allow that to happen the entire game, especially with the high scoring ability of Garrett Howell and Jared Duvall and even a couple of the others that put up some points on the board this year, including Ryan Budgett. Howell creating, and he's going to be slapped behind. Mitch Miller will probably be hit for the slash. Nope, they're going to actually assess that to Chiravelli, Austin Chiravelli, so he'll take a seat. And a man-up situation here for the Aztecs. One tie here in the first quarter. And the best way to break up a man-up or man-down situation is get a steal on defense and get a clear. But I'll tell you what, Corona hitting hard, playing very physical defense, and give some credit to Luke and Jake, 30 and 31, and Corona gets the possession. Shot saved there by the Boulder Creek goalie, and that's Chris Davis. 1-1 tie as we approach the 5.5-minute mark, and now Corona gets a turnover at midfield. Jake Weber, excuse me, and now they work it around to the weak side, and it paid off. The goal from Duvall on an assist play by Garrett Howell, his 21st assist of the year. Duvall now with 14 goals, and his second of the day, and it's 2-1 in favor of the Corona del Sol Aztec. Our first lead change of the game. This is our fourth face-off, and Corona has won all 4 of them. And because Boulder Creek never got the ball back inside their offensive half, Corona has, I guess, technically converted on 2 face-offs, possessions, and converting those into scores. They have had, 9 shots on goal to Boulder Creek's. I think the Boulder Creek had just the 1. So it has been a dominant first quarter. The score doesn't show that, but, boy, the one thing coaches love is the onslaught of shots on goal. Eventually they're going to go in, and Corona has put 2 in the back of the cage so far. Goals by Duvall with 7:45. And at the 5:12 mark, the latter, an assist by Howell. Here's a shot from way out. Shot that one from downtown Anthem, and if there is a downtown area here, I believe Corona's going to remain in possession. They lead at 2-1, Corona in the all-orange uniform. If you're just joining us, the Aztecs have scored the last 2 goals after Thomas Hess, 2 minutes into the contest, broke the ice for Boulder Creek, the senior midfielder. Ryan Budgett. And now out of X. Is this Howell? Looking to dodge. He's got the one-on-one. Looks like 7 ready to slide if he needs help. There it is. As Howell was maybe looking to make a pass near the crease area. He loses it. And very patient. And the way he backs in, as this one is going to go across the midway stripe, and coming up with it, nope, he lost it out of play, Blake Leeper, and it'll be Corona possession. 3:50 on the clock, first quarter action here. Corona in possession, leading 2-1. They have outshot Boulder Creek 9-1 here in quarter number 1. Good ride over there. Cody Essery of the Boulder Creek Jaguars, number 5. Second year on varsity, and he is second in the state this year with 22 assists, and he's looking to play at NAU. That's number 5 for the all-white team. Nice wraparound attempt on the shot by Howell, and he couldn't get it to go. Howell has had the majority of the shots on goal and is yet to put one into the back of the cage. 2-1 Corona, as Boulder Creek has one of their rare possessions, and looks like they may have thrown that one away. It is staying in play, and Corona's got it, but we've got a whistle. And this is going to be a push on Boulder Creek. Howell, well, they got in there on a quick whistle. Howell out in front. Looked like he had a shot. He's going to dodge. He wants a better-looking shot, and he couldn't get that one to go. Tried to bounce feed that one, change that eye level of Chris Davis. Of course, most of the shots, I guess, have been low shots. Next time Howell gets it, he'll probably go upstairs with it, as they tried to go that time upstairs, and it was no good by Jared DeVol. Still 2-1 Corona here in the first quarter of play. And what an absolutely gorgeous day. We got a nice cool breeze. 2 minutes left to go on the clock. I think we got a crease violation. We sure do. And that'll turn it over to Boulder Creek, one of the few possessions they've had so far. Dan Booth, the head coach of Boulder Creek, they've done a sensational job. Tracy Fuller, Phil Gordon, the assist. And look at this, with lightning-like swiftness, Hartman scores. And just like that, this game is tied at 2 apiece. Essery will be credited with the assist, with 1:43 left to go here in the first quarter. Corona gets another face-off win if they can corral it. They continue to battle for the possession, and it almost got scooped up into the back of the cage. So a great job there by Chris Davis. And now Boulder Creek looking to take their second lead of the game. The shot is going to be denied. Outstanding play by Alexander in goal for the Corona del Sol Aztecs. I'll tell you what, when Boulder Creek gets it, they don't mess around. I mean, they are forcing the issue. They are pushing that ball upfield. Corona, a little bit more of a deliberate or a slow-down offense. And now inside a minute, they are looking to extend their lead to 3-1 or 3-2. We're tied at 2. Here's the bounce feed into the back of the cage by Howell. His first goal of the contest. His 24th of the season. He's played only 4+ games, and it's 3-2 now. That is our second lead change, and we've had 2 ties. That comes at the 48-second mark, and look at this Boulder Creek team pushing it down. Dorley had a nice-looking shot. Good hustle by 22 Blake Leeper of the Jaguars, but it'll be Corona possession. The Jaguars program started JV, kind of a junior high program, back in 2008. Their first year of varsity was 2010 as we wind down quarter number 1. Good clear, getting it into the defensive half of the Jaguars.
20 seconds.
Left to play here in the first quarter. And we're down to 15. Let's see what Howell does here. He may be playing for the final shot for the Corona del Sol Aztecs as he moves right, shoots left, and a tremendous save. Again, attacking bottom shelf, and that'll be the end of period number 1. With the score, the Corona del Sol Aztecs, the visiting team, 3. The Jaguars of Boulder Creek, 2. We'll be back on APN in just a moment. Second quarter coming up. Beautiful day. Boulder Creek High School in Anthem, Arizona. We're getting set for our 6th face-off. Boy, Corona did a great job in that category in that first half. As Mike Clare continues to take charge in the all-important face-offs. This is number 40 going to work, and he shoots and he scores. Fitzhughes. 11 seconds into quarter number 2, and it's now 4-2 Corona, and that's the largest lead that we have seen so far in this contest. So for Benjamin, his 7th goal of the year, he has 10 points off 3 assists. They are even in face-off wins here in quarter number 2 as the Boulder Creek Jaguars come out in the all-white uniforms. A battle left of the crease, and it was Alexander who came up with the ball, and Corona will take possession. The key to that first half, and obviously a 3-2 lead, a very close first quarter of play, but Corona really controlled the time of possession. And a nice clear up ahead. Lamb, great look on the far side. R.J. Reiner couldn't get it to go, the senior midfielder. Thought maybe that was going to be the 5th goal of the afternoon for Corona, but the senior mid, couldn't quite get it to go. It was a great pass from Brendan Lamb. Or actually, that was Trey Bussler. There's 2 18s on there. Trey Bussler, the defender. And now Howell trying to pass it up. Of course, he is without his, they got such a great 2-man game. Howell and Patterson, Jacob Patterson not playing here today. As Benjamin on a nice ride there. Essery on the defense, and the shot is wide. Corona on the quick restart. Another shot attempt, so just on this possession alone, they've had 3 shots on goal, but have come up empty-handed, and their shooting percentage not all that great to start the game, but they're leading where it counts in the scoreboard, and they lead 4-2 here, quarter number 2. Garrett Howell backing in, and then spins to his right with the immediate shot as he was spinning right, and a great save there by the goalkeeper. So now Boulder Creek racing down. No whistle on that play, and as he falls, Tucker Hartman, second-year varsity player, missed the shot, and Corona will have possession. One of the other outstanding players we didn't mention was Quinn Bennett, number 17, midfielder, who is first in the state in face-off wins. Maybe not here today so far. Good defense. Good poke check there. That's 11, Taylor Miller, the sophomore, but Corona holds on to the possession here. We're in the second quarter. Fitzhugh at the 11:49 mark with a goal for the Corona del Sol Aztecs in the all-orange. Took a 4-2 lead, and that's our score right now. Howell dodging, should get it here, he does. You just cannot allow him to have that kind of space. You can't allow really anybody that kind of space and time, and with 9:23 and that close to the cage, he extends the lead to 3 at 5-2. Well, we had a couple of ties and a couple of lead changes in that first quarter. Good physical play by Quinn Bennett, 17 for the Jaguars. And Corona's going to get the possession. Second quarter action, Corona 5, the Jaguars 2. If you're wondering the leading scorers, we told you that Garrett Howell, now with 2 goals in the game, is the leading scorer with 25 goals, tied with Jacob Patterson for the Orange. Outstanding ground ball there by Chiravelli. He's trying to clear up across the 50-yard line, and he does. Howell with 43 points coming in. Jacob Patterson with 32 for Corona. On the Jaguars side, 32 points for Essery, 29 for Leeper, 25 for Chris Jackson, who's not playing today. So you got 2 high scores. We get a cross-check here on the Jaguars, so Corona will be in a man-up, leading by 3. Thomas Hess, third on the team, with 21 points for Boulder Creek. So Leeper, or rather Essery, 32, Leeper, 29. Chris Jackson, 25, and Thomas Hess, 21. Those are your leading scores for the Jaguars. Chris Davis, the goalie, has saved nearly 57% of the shots on goal. Probably like to get that up into the, I think, probably a good number. Of course, it depends on the defense, too. But I would say I think most goalies would like to be in the mid-60s, 64, 65%, if not higher. But, again, it depends on the opportunities of the opponent. Top shelf shot, no. Thomas Hess. And Corona will get it back as the Jaguars had a good look there by Hess. Thomas, a 3-year varsity player. Corona trying to clear, and they do. Good job there by Bruni. Behind the cage, looking, taking the shot, can't get it. Corona, another miss, even though they lead it by a score of 5-2. And this will be Boulder Creek's possession. Second quarter action. The Aztecs in the orange lead by 3. Boulder Creek moving from right to left across your television, led by their outstanding goalie, Chris Davis. This is Chris's first year on varsity. He's already a captain, a senior. And now the buildup. And here they come. Miller, nice-looking pass. And attacking out in front, Essery. Essery couldn't get that one to go. A save there by Alexander. And the scrum continues between these two teams. Red Butters, 34, was battling, but coming out of the fray was number 5, Cody Essery. We mentioned he is second in the state with assists at 22 going into today's game. Of course, Garrett Howell picked up 2 assists early to tie, but then Essery got his 23rd assist of the season at the 143 mark. Here's a shot, and that one's going to get in there. That one rattled in, and Mitch Miller, the senior midi, his second varsity year and team captain, pulls the Boulder Creek Jags to within 2 at 5-3. Face-off time. Corona, Mike Clare, senior. And they battle, and Quinn Bennett, who has been so great this year on face-offs, trying to pick up that loose ball as it goes sprung up into the air. And again, they go for the all-out scrum. I feel like I'm watching Australian rules or something here. And finally, it is corralled by Corona. Out of the 8 face-offs, they've won 6, and they lead at 5-3 here in the second quarter. Just inside of 6 minutes. 5 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock. Miller from Hess got Boulder Creek to within 2 at the 6:03 mark here in the second quarter. The score just a moment ago. Garrett Howell backing in, almost like a power forward or a center would back in on a low block, and he takes a big left-handed shot, and it is denied by Chris Davis, who's having a pretty good ball game here in goal for the Boulder Creek Jags. 5-3, the team in orange with the lead. Tucker Hartman, who has already scored, and a sensational clear for the Jags. Cliff Prowse's program, the Corona del Sol Aztecs, started this up in 2005. He is in now his 10th season. He told me there have been a couple of times where he has actually stepped down as head coach. And we're going to get a flag on the left of the crease here. I think this is going against Boulder Creek. It's going to be a technical foul, and we're going to get a timeout. Corona 4-3 by way of record coming in. Boulder Creek is 6-3. Boulder Creek currently in 6th place. Corona is in 10th place. And actually this win against Corona, so a man up situation here for the Jags as they try to draw within one as they trail 5-3 here in quarter number 2. Inside of 5 minutes left to go here in the first half. Last year, Corona had their finest season by way of record, 11-5. Made it to the semifinals. They've been in the state semifinals twice, never been to a finals. They made it in 2009. Here is a nice-looking pass, the diagonal pass to Essery. And at point-blank range, he is turned away by Thunberg, Alexander Thunberg. And that was a sensational save by the Corona del Sol Aztec goalie. So the score remains at 5-3. Finishing my story, Corona last year went to the semifinals. They've done it twice. In 2009, they went to the semifinals after a 9-4 season. Both times they were beaten by the Brophy Broncos. Last year's eventual champion, I believe it was Chaparral who won it in 2009. So they are hoping, if they have a healthy Patterson, a healthy Garrett Howe, and Jared Duvall continues to play extremely well. Of course, Duvall was, a young man that's such a big part of the offense, and they can continue to play the tough kind of defense they're playing here. They feel like they have a chance to go deep in the playoffs again this year and maybe even give a challenge. Boulder Creek's another team. They knocked off Chaparral back in the early stages, back in early March. Beat them over there on their home turf. They come in with a record of 6-3. They're in 6th place. And I can tell you that both these programs feel like they are on the rise. I would say one of the other teams maybe on the rise is that Gilbert team. I would look for them to really be maybe that next great team that emerges here. It would be nice if here in Arizona if we had maybe, we got to push off here. And the Jags taking the shot, denied. Alexander, good job. And a great ground ball off the rebound. That's just good instincts by one of their true team leaders, Benjamin Fitzhugh, who already has a goal here. And one of the tougher, more physical players out there. As you can see, he gets right in there on the ground ball, uses his body to shield against the defender. He tried to keep that one alive, but it's eventually corralled by the Jags. So Tucker Hartman, 16, credited with a ground ball. Tucker in his second year on varsity as they settle in on a 6-on-6, and the top shelf shot by Thomas Hess over the head of the goalie. Jags will retain possession here as they trail 5-3 in quarter number 2. Inside of 3 minutes left to play. Hess will now work out of X. One-on-one defensively. Should be, I believe that is Bustler. There's 2 18s on the team. Trey Bustler. Corona in the orange. Led 3-2 after 1. Put up a couple of fairly quick goals within the first 2.5 minutes to go up 5-2. Hess found Miller at the 6:03 mark here in this second quarter to get the Jags back to within 2 in our current score. Corona 5, Jags 3. Here's the dodge behind the crease, and it was broken up. Good heads-up play by Tristan Butters, number 3, and eventually corralled by the Corona goalie. And a great pass up ahead. Good, solid play. Corona not forcing the issue offensively. We haven't seen them force the issue. They have had somewhat of a deliberate offense, kind of a slow-down offense. And when you got a score like 21, Garrett Howe, G-Flow, as he is known in the program,
1 minute.
You can set up these isolation plays when you've got someone with the scoring prowess of Mr. Howe. He's a senior attackman. He's looking. No one's cutting to the crease, and he has it broken up and retained his own possession. Good, tenacious defense there by Tucker Hartman, and Corona wisely calls the timeout from the sideline. They lead it 5-3. You're watching Arizona Lacrosse League action. This is APN's Encore Gamecast. And 40 seconds left to play here in the first half. We're in a timeout. Beautiful facilities here. Boulder Creek High School. We're in Anthem, Arizona. Good 15 miles north of the Phoenix area, the North Phoenix area. Quick jaunt up I-17, though they had a pretty nasty fatality on I-17 up around Thunderbird, and it took a while to get up here. Here's Garrett Howe going to work, and we're down inside 30 seconds left to go. Boy, Boulder Creek gets the possession here. Brett Benson with a ground ball, and they really need that possession, and now well, the officials... This cannot be Corona's possession here. No, this will be Boulder Creek. They're gonna, well, this is gonna have to go back inside Boulder Creek. They're gonna have to send it back closer to that crease area. We had a crease violation there, so Boulder Creek will probably try it. Well, they got to clear it first. They'll probably try to come up with the last shot of the game. Approximately 20 seconds left to go. And Tyler Mumford up ahead to Benson. Mumford. And a nice ground ball there by Cody. And then he throws it away. But that's going to be the end of the first half. With the score, the Corona del Sol Aztecs visiting Boulder Creek, and they lead it 5-3 on our Encore Gamecast. And we'd like to welcome you back to our Encore Gamecast presented by the Arizona Lacrosse League and APM Video Sports. And to start the second half, Boulder Creek gets the opening face-off. Essery has had a fine game here. He has 1 assist. Thomas Hess of Boulder Creek, a score and an assist. And Hartman got the other goal for the Jags. Scoring for Corona in that first half. Duvall, the first 2 goals, his 13th and 14th of the season. Garrett Howe had 2 goals, which gives him 25 on the year. He also had an assist, which gives him now 46 points in 4.5 games. Excellent job by Corona, and they're taking charge. They lead it 5-3. The other goal in that first half by Fitzhugh. That made it 4-2 at the 11:49 mark in the second quarter. So Corona led by a score of 3-2 after 1, and at the half they led 5-3. So they are looking to add on to this lead. Good close game. Stay with us here as the shot is taken, and it's going to be wide. Jared Duvall, whose goal is to eventually end up, and I'm sure, playing lacrosse at Providence. One of his career goals. 5-3 lead, Corona in possession. This is Garrett Howe, who had 11 goals in their last game against Pinnacle. And that might very well be a state record. We're still checking on that. Garrett Howe, 2 goals, 1 assist, pulls the trigger, and it was saved by Chris Davis. And a ground ball pickup by Tucker Hartman, who's been doing a lot of the things that won't show up on a box score. Back over to Dylan Averill. Dylan Averill, number 10 for Boulder Creek. Wonder if he's any relation to Earl Averill, who was a Hall of Famer way back in the early days in baseball. One of the great players at the early days of baseball. And here's a great ground ball by the long stick defender. And he's racing up across midfield. That's Daniel Sion. But eventually it's the Jags and Thomas Hess. Hess, who scored the game's first goal at the 9:57 mark, wants to score the first goal here. Nope, he's going to give it up. And then a weak shot by Leeper. Jags will retain possession. They trail it 5-3. There's Zach. And now the Jags slowing it down. Hartman. Little poke check, nice poke check there. That was Ryan over there for Corona. Sometimes it's a little tough to see their numbers. Third quarter action, the Aztecs with a 5-3 lead. Zion. Boy, that's a big body to try to get around when you're out there on that wing. Cody. Patience. Great look. Leaper couldn't corral the pass. I think it got broken up. Tremendous ground ball by Maroos. Luke Maroos, the junior midi. And he's racing into the defensive half of the Jags, with his team leading it by a score of 5-3 here in the third quarter. Inside of 9 minutes here in the third quarter. You talk about a very, very deliberate offense or a slowdown offense, I should say, not deliberate. As they try to find 14 Tattlebaum, and the loose ball picked up by Dylan Averill. Now the clear by Cody. Racing up along the far alley. He's looking to make a pass here. Cody with 32 points this year. Always thinks pass before shooting. He has 10 goals this year, but 22 assists. And coming into this game, that was tops in the state. I believe Garrett Howell's 20 is number 2. I don't think Cody, it looked like he was going to take the shot that time. Patrick with some outstanding defense over there. Sorkoof. And he's getting the assignment here on Cody. Staying with him well. The pass right on target, but couldn't quite corral at 15. John Dorley, the sophomore attackman, his first year on varsity for head coach Dan Booth. Excellent defense. Butters still battling. Couldn't get the ground ball. And now they'll regroup with Shiravelli. Austin, his first year on varsity. Number 4 for this team. He's going to get, it looks like maybe another ground ball opportunity. Couldn't corral it. And it's Rhett Butters racing up across midfield, being harassed by a young man who is planning on joining the Marines when he graduates from high school. And every ground ball, every possession right now, really vital for the Jags. They have been kind of stagnated here, uncharacteristically on offense, as they have been held to 3 points. As we're getting kind of close. We don't have a running clock. We don't have the clock on the scoreboard, so I can only guess where we are in terms of how much time left in the third quarter. But I would say we're somewhere between probably 6.5 minutes left to play. Here's Cody. A good double-team defense. Sliding over there was Surkoff. And they take the shot but cannot get it to go, and Corona will have possession. They'll bring it up. Let's see how long it takes to get them across the halfway line. Well, they did, and then they threw it away. So the Jags will get it, needing a goal right now as they trail 5-3. Cliff Prowse's Corona del Sol Aztecs. They trailed 1-0, but reeled off 2 unanswered goals. Then we had a tie at 2-2. We had 2 lead changes, and ever since Corona scored their third goal to take a 3-2 lead, they have never given up that lead. And right now they're up by 2 at 5-3. They're in the orange. Here's the shot. Save Alexander. Good job. He's having a big, big afternoon. I think both goalies have had an outstanding afternoon here. Our game time temperature, 74 degrees, but a somewhat nice breeze here as Corona gets it into the offensive half and scores! And it's Howell's third. He's got the hat trick to go along with 1 assist. His third goal, his 26th of the season, and this one comes at the 4:27 mark. And it's 6-3, their largest lead of the afternoon. Face-off win and belongs to Quinn Bennett. They have had 4 face-off wins after Corona won the first 4 of the game. Boulder Creek has won 4 of the last 6, but they trail by 3. 4 minutes left to go here in quarter number 3. Thomas Hess trying to put some pressure on that defense, out to Cody. They'll work it around the horn, and they settling in on 6-on-6. Mitch Miller, nice job corralling kind of a high pass there. He takes a shot on the diagonal shot, and then a good job by Liam Morisak out of X corralling that one before it got out of play. Jags trail by 3. They're in the white with the red trim. They take the shot, picked up. Another opportunity on the rebound by Zach Averill. And it looks like the Jags will have the possession with about 3 minutes and 25 seconds left to go. Again, the scoreboard, the clock is being, managed down on the field. And in this one, blocked and saved by Alexander of Corona. Still a loose ball. Who wants this ground ball? It is going to be saved by the Jags. Good effort there. And the hot potato finally picked up by Zach Averill, his first year. The freshman midi in there mixing it up, but now the Jags turn the ball over, and here's Corona trying to clear it. And a good job getting it into their offensive half. They lead it 6-3, looking for more. Save that time by Chris Davis of Boulder Creek. And it looks like Garrett Howell is hurt, and they're waiting for a whistle. They're waiting for a whistle, and there it is, and we got a stop in play. Actually, that was Benjamin. Benjamin who is shaken up on that play. As he took the shot for the Corona del Sol Aztecs. We're inside of 3 minutes left to go here in quarter number 3, and the Aztecs lead the home team, the Jags, 6-3. And you're watching our Encore Gamecast presented by the Arizona Lacrosse League. Good job of getting it through there, Cody Essery, the outstanding senior midi captain. Maybe he'll take matters into his own hands here. As we mentioned, has had a big season this year as Cody, number 5 for the Jags in the white uniform. 32 points this year, but 22 coming off assist, and only 10 via of actually getting a goal. And really, I don't think you see that so many times as Hartman takes a shot. He has a goal already in this game and a save by Thunberg. Both goalies have played very well. They have been challenged with some close shots. They've had some spectacular saves in this game, but so many times when you talk about assist to goal ratio, it's usually more goals than assists, but I think that's the one thing you got to be impressed with number 5 for the Jags. His assist total is more than double his goal total. He has one here today as his Jaguars are trailing by a score of 6-3. Is this a failure to advance? Okay, they're going to disregard the infraction there, and so it's still Corona ball. And the officials are referring Corona red, and of course Boulder Creek white. Third quarter action. Getting close to that 2-minute mark. Getting a look at 31 there. Jake Weber. Dodging. Tried to pull the trigger, and it was abrupted there by Tucker Hartman. Good defense by the Jags. Corona still in possession. They lead by 3 and looking for more. And another save. The rebound was there. What a try by Nathan Tattlebaum. Picked up the loose ball after the save. And now Garrett Howell is shaken up on the play. He was the one that took the shot. It kind of skipped up there. A good save there from the head of the cross of the Jag goaltender, and then it just popped right up and right into the face of 14, Nathan Tattlebaum. And he scores with 19 seconds left to go here in quarter number 3. So now Corona enjoying their largest lead of the game, 7-3. We'll see if Garrett Howell comes out in the 4th. We're down to the final 10 seconds. Face-off win, their 3rd in a row, Boulder Creek. Well, we talked about the ability of Quinn Bennett. This is going to be a 30-second infraction, so a man-up situation for Boulder Creek. We're inside of 10 seconds left to play here in the 3rd period. Tucker Hartman, the sophomore, will restart here. Boy, what a gorgeous day. Cool breeze here, 74 degrees. Partly cloudy, or mostly, I would say mostly sunny skies. Hartman may be running out the clock. He does, and we are heading to the 4th. With the score, Corona leading the Jags 7-3. And we'll be back in just a moment. All right, 4th quarter action here from Boulder Creek High School. Jeff Lowry on the play-by-play action, and the Corona del Sol Aztecs, who led 3-2 after 1. They led by 2 at the half by a score of 5-3. And now we go into the 4th period of play. They are up 8-3. It's been a big day, not as big as his last game for Garrett Howell of the Corona del Sol Aztecs, but he has scored 4. He has assisted once. And the Aztecs, with a nice long clear, will be in possession as they look to add on to an 8-3 lead. Very important part of the season because Corona got out to the slow start. They've won 3 straight. They've got their record over the 500 mark at 4 wins, 3 losses. A big game for them, but I'll tell you, I think it's as equally a big game here for the Boulder Creek Jags as they come in with a record of 6-3. And if Corona holds on and wins this game, as they get a good ground ball there by number 14, Nate Tattlebaum, freshman midfielder. And look who scores again. With 10 minutes and 45 seconds left to go, it is Garrett Howell. He now has 4 goals on the day. He has 5 points, and it is now 8-3 Corona. He just continues to be impressive after coming back from a broken jaw. He had a cast on his hand, and ever since he's been back, he's been sensational, and Corona has been a force to be reckoned with. They have had wins over Pinnacle, 17-7, Mountain Point, a 1-point affair, and then they beat Glendale 19-10. That's their 3-game win streak. Here in the second half, Boulder Creek has really done a great job on their faceoffs. After struggling in that first quarter, they lost the first 4 faceoff possessions. So Dan Booth's team needs to put together some kind of a scoring run here if they have any conceivable chance of getting back into this ball game, trailing 8-3. Boulder Creek coming off a 17-1 victory over Northern Arizona. They have won just 2 of their last 4. Their next game is coming up on the 12th of April, next in-state game against the Brophy number 2 team, which is actually a pretty good team. They're a playoff caliber team. Next game for Corona coming up on the 9th, they play Hamilton. Then they have South Point, another fine save, Alexander Thunberg. And here is a turnover and an opportunity, and the pass goes over the head of Blake Leeper from Mitch Miller. Now Corona on the attack, led by Bustler, who has had a fine day defensively for the Aztecs. Corona with an 8-3 lead. Garrett Howell in possession. Always seems to find a double team. He's isolated right now. If he makes a dodge to that cage, he may go all the way. With only one man to beat, and that would be Mumford 23, but instead, again, they're going with that slow-down offense. Slow-down mode here for Corona in the 6-on-6. And why not? Right now, you've got a 5-point lead. You're Corona. You have a 5-point lead inside of, we're approaching the 9-minute mark. They're going to take a shot here. You got to take that one. They'll still retain possession. But with a 5-point lead, fourth quarter, approaching the 9-minute mark, as Hal takes a shot, and that's going to be stopped by Chris Davis. He picks up the ground ball, and a good job there, but now Corona. Did Corona get it? Nope. That's 14. Brett Benson. Benson has had about a half a dozen ground balls in this game. He's done a sensational job for the Jags. And Benson wears number 14. Cody brings it up across, but if you're Corona right now with less than 5 minutes left to play, or 9 minutes left to play here, you really want to shorten this game up. There's a shot by Cody, and the denial by Alexander Tunberg. Alexander has been outstanding here in this game, and the Corona defense has to be given a lot of credit. But now the Jags looking for a scoring opportunity. John Dorley, 15, giving it up to Hess. Hess, nice slide there on the defense. Back over to Leeper. Let's see if Leeper can get his team on the board. They trail by 5. Inside of, we're approaching the 8-minute mark here in quarter number 4. And here's a nice right-handed shot. Alexander, we're going to get what might be a slash against the defense of Corona. Get the official call here. No, it wasn't. It's a 1-minute infraction against Corona, so I'll tell you what, as Elvis Presley once sang, it's now or never if you are the Jags. You got to get a couple of points up here in a man-up situation. Trailing 8-3. Too bad we don't have the scoreboard here. But I would imagine we've got to be somewhere around the 7:15 mark, possibly. Here's a nice looking look. Oh, man. Boy, you talk about head hunting there, and a little over aggression by the senior Tristan Butters. So now the Jags are going to be in a double man up. And you talk about now or never situation. They want to get a couple of goals here while they're in the man up situation. Broken up nicely. I think that was that Butters? Pass inside. Beautiful. Beautiful. And it's Cody Essery who gets the goal from Chiravelli. And it's now 8-4. It comes at the 6:48 mark here in quarter number 4. At least that puts the Jags back into the game. Give a lot of credit to the defense. Rhett Butters, Bustler. Quick pass, diagonal pass over to the weak side. Corralled nicely by Chiravelli, who had the assist on the last Jag goal just a moment ago. We're down to 6:25. Hess. Give and go. One-timer, Essery, he couldn't get it. And look at the effort by Alexander diving for that ball. Quick whistle here. Well, I thought it was a quick whistle. And now Cody will restart it over in the far corner of the field. Actually, he's an X. So Essery, he'll get it over to Thomas Hess. Still man-up situation, double man-up situation, and a big left coming left of the crease. Jags retain possession on the ground ball by Shiravelli. Austin's first year, number 4 with the team on the varsity level. We talked about him wanting to join the United States Marine Corps, which certainly is Cody looking to pass first, and this one gets through the fray up to midfield, and it looks like it's going to be picked up there by Shiravelli. This ground ball, good hustle by Shiravelli. And Corona gets the turnover. A nice effort by Tattlebaum. I can't believe Nathan Tattlebaum is a freshman. And the way he's been playing, that was actually Daniel Sion, 44, over there on that play. Corona will be in possession, fourth quarter action. Well, Corona will have it, yes. Trying to get Leeper to go the required 5 yards. 8-4 lead for the team in orange, who's in possession. Nice clear by Benjamin. Tell you, this young man, you know, this game, lacrosse, there are so many things that you can do on the field that's not going to show up in a box score if we had box scores in the Arizona Republic, as this one is going to be slapped away. Good defense, good ride there on the defense. We're going to get a whistle and a stop and play. Excellent defense timeout. Taylor Miller, number 11 for the Jags. A sophomore in his first year, applying some strong defense. We're just under the 5-minute mark here in quarter number 4. So the Aztecs will retain possession, but you look at the play of Benjamin Fitzhugh, you just love the intangibles that he brings to the field. And those things that I said, it would not show up on a score sheet or not necessarily a score sheet, but a box score in the newspaper the next morning. Behind the back pass, and that was impressive. That was right on the money, but Corona couldn't convert. And now Taylor Miller, the sophomore defender, with a nice clear for the Jags. Get it up into their offensive half. Well, I'll tell you, they got to reel off something here, and they got a good opportunity, and it's Leeper who scores. Blake Leeper, the senior attackman, his second year with the varsity team, and he scores his first goal of the game. It couldn't have come at a better time, and now the Jags are within 3. That comes with 3:53 left to go in regulation. Corona will have their first face-off win here in the second half, if you can believe it. They dominated the face-off 6-2 in that first half. But here in the second half, it's been all Boulder Creek 4-1. So Leeper scoring to cut it to a 3-point deficit. Now Ryan trying to set up a screen here, and he does. Jake Weber tripped up there. Fine job, Mitch Miller, number 7 for the Jags. Jags in the white, trailing the orange team. 8-5, fourth quarter action. We are approaching the 3-minute mark here in regulation. It's been a good, strong defensive game for both teams, probably especially more so on the Corona side. They've had to stop a very balanced Jag offense, a team that can hurt you not from just one or two players, but they've got, going into this game, 4 players with at least 20 points through their first 9 games. That's pretty good. That's good balanced scoring. And their true leader, Cody Essery. Nice clear. Bounced off 2 defenders. Looking for 22, and 22 took the shot, couldn't get it to go, and Blake Leeper. Corona, 18, Trey Bussler. His stick skills have come in handy here today on defense, even though he has that one stripped away. Austin Chiravelli, possibly heading to the United States Marine Corps when his high school career is over. Always mixed emotions when somebody says they're committing to the United States Marines. One way, you love when the young people feel a dedication and commitment to serve the greatest country on the face of this planet. But then, you know the flip side of it too. But we wish him the best, and we hope that he has a great, great career. So the Jags with the possession. Hess, who scored the game's first goal 2 minutes in. Great pass out front. Cody tried to go with a one-timer and couldn't get it to go. And Corona picks it up. Morrow, Aiden Morrow, the freshman midfielder, with an important ground ball there. I think we're going to get a push against the Jags. No, this is a push against the Aztecs. And what a job by Cody, quickly getting that ball down to Chiravelli. But it was broken up, and I'll tell you, Corona, when they've needed to get physical and break up a play, they've been able to do it this afternoon. They've been physical when they've needed to. And, you know, obviously, Hal, 4 goals, 1 assist. But I think the big key here for Cliff Prowse's Aztecs, as Cody makes another play here for the Jags. And they are running out of time. They need a couple of goals here. Put some pressure on the defense. And Leeper receiving an assist from Cody Essery. And it's a 2-point game, but there's only 40 seconds left to play here in regulation. Impressive goal by Blake Leeper, and it's 8-6 in favor of the Corona del Sol Aztecs. Face-off win, Boulder Creek, 5-1 here in the second half. So give a lot of credit to Quinn Bennett, who came in here the state's best face-off in terms of face-off wins. 15, great ground ball, Dorley. You get a score right now. I know there's only about 20, 25 seconds left to play. You put a lot of pressure on this Corona defense, but the Jags are just taking too much time. Hartman has it stripped away, and that might very well be a game-winning play there by Tristan Butters on defense. And that's it. The ball game is over. Corona del Sol has won their 4th straight. They go to 5-3. They're going to move up a couple of notches in the standings, and they do it impressive fashion, 8-6 over a very good Boulder Creek Jaguar team who drops to 6-4. This has been a presentation of APM Video Sports. Let's send it down to the field for our post-game comments. All right, with me now, Benjamin Fitzhugh, outstanding midfielder for Corona. Congratulations, and talk about some of the keys to your victory tonight.
On face-offs, we did a really good of getting the ground ball, and on defense, we slid with a purpose. We knocked them on their butts, and we've just been playing really well as a team. Our goalie's playing amazing, our attack's playing amazing, and we're just coming together as a team.
Benjamin, you talk about the playoffs. Do you feel confident that your team can make a run?
Yeah, we can definitely make a run. With all of our guys improving, we're doing a really good job right now. Our coaches are doing a great job of teaching us how to play lacrosse, and the sky's the limit for us, and our ceiling is we don't even know where it is. We're just going to keep fighting and see what we can do.
Thank you. All right, comments from Benjamin Fitzhugh.